Okay, this is March 31st, 2011, and before I go into the analysis for today, I wanted to mention that the website Forex Alliance will be moving to a new location with the help of a couple trader friends. We've designed a new site that is more interactive and I think will benefit the traders a lot more than the current site. When it is up and ready, which should be pretty much by Monday, I will put a link on the web page, the Daily Outlook web page, so that you can follow that link to where we will be residing. But anyways, this is the weekly chart, and let's take a look at that. So we're trading above the trend line. This has been a pesky little trend line here. We're trading above it. If we close above that trend line this week, we can pretty much count on seeing the completion of the AB equals CD pattern in the next week or two at 45.66. Now right now we are testing the 786, FE 786, having a bit of a hard time staying above it. So we could see this reject here and pull back down, but the euro looks pretty strong right at the moment. So what we're looking at then is hopefully even with non-farm payrolls remaining above this trend line in order to get us to the ultimate target on the weekly chart of the FE 100 and complete the AB equals CD pattern. Okay, so then let's take a look at the daily chart. And as I mentioned last night, we were having problems getting through this channel trend line here, which is held forever, and we did close above it or below it and held below it for a couple days, and we did make our way through and closed above it last night. And so here we are at the FE 786 of this ABC to the upside, which targets the 44.18. So 44.18 will complete the ABC to the upside on the daily chart, and if we close above this 41 or 42.06 today, we have a very good chance of making it to the 44.18 within the next, maybe even non-farm payrolls, depending on how that comes out. But remember, we have to be very cautious of that. I don't usually trade Fridays to begin with, and if I do, I trade very early in the morning, but especially on non-farm payroll day. For me, that's just a gamble, but some people can do it. I just simply can't. Alright, so to the 4-hour chart then. So last night we saw that we had a bull flag. Price did close above the bull flag and continued up. We also have an ABC to the upside. We weren't quite sure a few days ago whether we were going to hold this level here so that it would establish C. Well, it did establish C there, and that's where C is. And therefore, when we put our fib expansion tool on, we find our target up here at 44.05. So on a 4-hour chart, our AB equals CD target is 44.05. And if you notice, we also have a head and shoulders pattern here, and it's just kind of a small one, maybe not as easily detected as some of them are. Nonetheless, we do have one. And the target on that is pretty close to our AB equals CD target. Okay, now one thing I wanted to mention is that we do run the risk of retracing back down to the 50 EMA and the bull flag trend line. So when you take longs, because I'll be trading ABC longs on the smaller time frames, which I did take and still am. I took one trade on an ABC long on a 15-minute chart, made a few pips on that, and I'm in there long again on an ABC long. So when you do take longs right now, just be careful, because we do run the risk of testing the 50 EMA or the bull flag trend line. So But so the target then that we're looking for on a 4-hour basis is 44.05. Okay. On a daily basis, it is 44.18. And on a weekly basis, we're working towards 45.68. So I'll be looking at trading ABC longs on smaller time frames until we get to those targets. Once those targets are hit, we have a very good chance of a decent sell-off. Of course, we could have that tomorrow with non-farm payrolls, but excluding that, generally, we could get to those targets. And also, don't forget, keeping in mind, we have the risk of pulling back to and testing this 4-hour 50 EMA and bull flag trend line. Okay, let me see this 1-hour chart now. Okay, on the 1-hour chart, if you notice, we did break above the channel trend line, or the triangle trend line that we talked about last night. We have actually formed, let me get rid of this. And we run the risk of coming and testing this trend line or the 1-hour 50 EMA. And just going to fib here. On an hourly basis, we've tested the 38.2. So if we break above the high there, we should make it to the negative 127.2 at 42.81 on that. So if you don't have an opportunity to go long, you could look at something like that. But remember, we do have the risk of retracing even further to the 61.8, which lines up with this trend line here. So that's always a possibility. And normally, in situations like this, when I get up and I'm positive 15-20 pips, I'll take, I'll scale out, take partial profits, and move my stop to break even. It's just safer that way, especially with NFP tomorrow. We never know what can happen. So now if we look at the 15-minute chart, this is what I traded off of earlier today, an ABC long and I'm going to move this down. This is something that's very important, which really helps the ABCs, is when you have bullish hidden divergence. We have an ABC long with bullish hidden divergence. Okay, so that gives an extra confirmation that we do have a long in play when price reached this level, which was, if we do a regular fib on this, two things would give you the indication that it was time to buy. And I'm just going to get rid of this for a second here so we can see it better. If we just put a regular fib on there, and I'm fibbing the bullish divergence, so I'm going to fib from these MACD bar lows to these highs. So that is from here to here. I'm just fibbing the divergence. And if you notice, right off the 61.8 is where we formed the bullish divergence. So we had two things telling us to go long, the fib and the bullish divergence. Okay? Alright, so we are currently then, as it stands, in an ABC to the upside on a 15-minute chart. And that target is, I'm going to put the fib expansion tool on here, and we can go find the target. That target on this ABC long, the ultimate target, of course each FE level is a target where you can either scale out or take all profits and then go back down to a smaller time frame yet and re-enter the trade. But the final target is 42.70 on this ABC long on a 15-minute chart. And so that is, now how did that happen? I hope you guys were able to see what I was talking about. anyways, just so you know, ABC long, final target on this 15-minute ABC long is 4270. Okay, so this is March 31st, 2011, Daily Outlook.